All right, here we go. Another Christos Avatar TV transmission of spirit. Let me get my working lighter. Thank you guys so much for joining us together. Talking about aliens is actually a spiritual topic. Tonight we're going to be specifically talking about reptilians, lizard people, some of those Drake, whatever you call them. So they're like lizard-like or dragon-like. The Guardian teachings, which is the perspective that we're coming from regarding this topic, call these like you would say the highest level fallen angelic alien race is the Omicron. When it comes to the reptilian, gold flame, seraphim races. And there's another kind of like equal race called the Odedicron. Those are winged reptilians. They're actually both winged. But not all reptiles, reptilians, lizard people have wings. But some of the higher dimensional beings do. And according to the Guardians, these beings, these races are fallen angels, malevolent extraterrestrials. Now, right at the front, right at the beginning here, I will say not all reptilians or dragons are bad. But just realize that they are, you would say their whole races have fell. So there could be, however, individuals, families, groups that are not part of the fallen angelic, you would say, consciousness. And so there was actually, when the races fell, these reptilian races fell, there was a Guardian project to help heal some of the ones that agreed to the healing, that wanted the healing, to reverse back to the light. So those are some of the ones who you would consider still part of the original intention of Creator Source God. The ones who are serving the sacred universal law of one, who are the good guys. Okay? But the majority, the actual races are fallen. Fallen angelic. If you don't like that word, then they're malevolent ETs, alien races. Not from our world, coming from other worlds. Now, there is an exception we'll talk about tonight called the Dracos. The Guardians spell it D-R-A-C-O-S, not Drakes. Okay? The Dracos, even David Icke spoke about the reptilians. In his early days, he got very criticized about them. But the Dracos were actually created on Earth after humans, just to know the difference. This is our planet. But they were created to serve these fallen angelic agendas. They were a hybrid, spliced between, I believe it was the ancient Egyptians, either that or the Atlanteans, because we have Anunnaki hybrids. Okay, so that's not tonight's topic, but there's also mixed among us. They walk among us too. So we're not just talking about the hybrids though, like the Dracos. Okay, these are beings coming originally from the Vega star system. All reptilians, all A-L-L. Well, the beginning ones, the founder ones, started in Vega. And then after it's called the Lyran Elohim Wars, which the reptilians were part of that war, they all moved to the Orion system. Now all these reptilian dragon races, lizard people are coming out of the Orion system. Let me get a drink of water. I gotta keep this hydrated. So this is what we're going to be talking about tonight, you guys. It's a very relevant in our spiritual awakening times. Let me light my charcoal disc. They're a big part of this. You will find reptilian, fallen angelic extraterrestrials in the Vatican. Okay? You will see iconography or symbols or connections to reptilians as the form of gargoyles, winged reptilians, gargoyles, at the top of churches, no less. When you look at the search online, Pope audience chamber, the Pope, right? Look up Pope audience chamber. You will see right before your eyes the lie of religions. You will see the reptilian. Because, according to the Guardians, the reptilians have taken over the Vatican, the churches, the religions. They're a big role in what's going on in the world. As a matter of fact, I've heard even Asciana herself, speaker one, she said that they're taking over more territory than the Anunnaki. They're more in power now than the Anunnaki races. Almost got this, guys. Thanks for your patience. I just got some benzoin amber. I use frankincense and copal, white copal and gold, and some amber. Got some amber resin right here. Every time in my spiritual topics, I burn incense to protect the space and the, cleanse and purify. Smudge. It's called smudging. Chiwa, holy ones. Thank you very much. So this is a live broadcast. We're going to have, usually, sometimes it's a popular topic. You might get over 100 people tonight, but I'm also shadow banned, so that may not happen anyway. So let me say hello to everybody. Apparently it's Saturday and there's some dirt bikes outside. So sorry for the background noise, you guys. I live in a rural town, so you get stuff like this. I get roosters crowing, Sir Madison, brother, what's up, Holy One? Good to have you, man. And for those of you who don't know, Sir Madison is one of our 6 moderators. We don't have them all always online, but there's at least 3 or 4 of them on here with us. So, hello, brother. How you doing, man? Good to have you here. Thanks for being here, Sir Madison. Yeah. BJ. Got Taylor Smith in the house. What's up, Holy One? Blessings to all, he says. We also got Butterfly. Welcome, Archangel, Star Sister. So happy to see you. Good to have you in our space with us. Got Sarah Burchett. She says, good evening, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for your positive vibes, Sarah. Blessings to you. We also have Asandra Valandia. Anyone know where to get in-depth information about what source matrix is? About what a source. I'll address that, Sandra. She says, anyone know where to get in-depth information about what a source matrix is and also host matrix and what a matrix transplant is? What you're talking about is source matrix. Well, that's God, baby. Source God, God force. Some people just call it God, and it isn't it. Because God is outside of gender. God is not male. God is not a female. But you will have Anunnaki, ET gods, reptilian gods telling you otherwise. So, source matrix. A matrix is something like a unit, a family, a collective. Source matrix is everything, the unified field. So a host, and then the rest of your question, a host matrix transplant is where I just mentioned earlier, actually. Some of the reptilian races were in a host matrix, which is another word for a healing program. It involves other ETs like the Guardians, helping the ETs with fragmented DNA templates, with twisted, distorted DNA templates. If you have a twisted DNA, you're going to have some form of distorted consciousness too. So these beings who wanted to heal, they didn't, a lot of the lower reptilian races, if you learn some of the teachings here, you'll understand that it's connected to the higher templates that they're come out of. And these higher templates, well, they're diabolical, wicked, fallen angelic beings who will even take advantage of their lower selves. Like, for example, the fallen angelic highest level ET avatars are coming out of 10th dimension. Well, there's 9th dimensional, there's 6th dimensional, there's even 3rd dimensional reptilians who are getting used and abused by the dark avatars. So they don't want that. Some of those beings can't stand that. They don't want that. Something else controlling them all the time. So they get out of that by going through a host matrix transplant, by going through a healing program with the Guardians. It's kind of like what we talk here called indigo type 3s. The indigo type 3s are a host matrix for the Anunnaki, the Nephilim Anunnaki. So that means there's two souls in one body. This is one example of different types of host matrix. So the reason why they do that, it's an agreement by the Anunnaki or the reptilian and a guardian. The guardian has to incarnate somewhere down here, and then the soul matrix has two. So throughout the life, the guardian would be waking up and trying to heal those dark thoughts, those dark avatar thoughts, because it's a positive avatar, and that is the process of healing, transmuting, being checked by the guardian. The reptilian or the Anunnaki agreed to it. There's more information in the Emerald Order teachings. I encourage you to look more into that. Specifically, like the Cathara Biospiritual Healing video workshop series. Also, some of the other video workshops that Ashiana Dean has taught, who's speaker one, the original translator of these books. And so this is coming out of the Guardian races. This is not coming from clay tablets. It's not coming from channeling. This is coming from holographic disc records. The Guardians call them the CDT plates, Cloister, Dora, Terra plates. Cloister, Dora, Terra is the soul and the oversoul level of consciousness. And so, but thank you for that question. And I thank you guys for being here tonight on this very relevant and important topic, the reptilians. And I have a feeling that YouTube is going to gank me on this video because they don't like you talking about lizard people. And just like I told you guys before on my Anunnaki video, you can guarantee that YouTube, they're listening right now, YouTube is going to put a Wikipedia article on my video debunking what I'm teaching. That's how YouTube rolls. Okay, you'll find censorship in YouTube. You'll find censorship in Instagram, in TikTok. You know, I talk about the secret space program. I talk about the Illuminati. I talk about reptilian lizard people. Of course, they're going to gank my traffic. Shadow ban me. That's what it's called. It's the same thing with Facebook and Twitter. So I am more of people think of, the algorithm will think I'm a conspiracy theorist and think there's something wrong with you. Like your message, I mean. They don't want your message getting out. They want to hold back your message from reaching many people. So like I said, at the end of this video, when I finish the live, maybe take a couple minutes, you will see a Wikipedia article talking about lizard people or reptilian people. Most likely lizard people. This is a future prediction. Watch it come true. I'm only saying that because of historically it has happened throughout my channel. This is why my channel is shadow banned. I'm still here, slowly creeping, slowly growing. It's been a couple years now. I've reached 94,000 here on YouTube. So let me finish saying hi to everybody. Celine, blessing, star sister, good to have you. She's our other moderator here tonight with us. Thank you for holding space and watching the community tonight, Celine. Bless you, sister. You need the Christos Avatar's 15-dimensional time matrix. Thank you, Sarah. And that's true. It's an excellent learning tool. It's an excellent teaching tool. I'll actually be using that tonight. Thank you, Sarah. Taylor Smith, love and light, discernment to all. Charlene Howley, thank you. Peace and love, or peace and joy. Blessings, Holy One. UTD, greetings, Holy One. Thank you for sharing that link, Celine. Bless you, sister. El Salvador says, Ki Rache. Somebody's studying the teachings. Blessings, brother, sister. Sup, says Leo in the house. Run, breath, and practice experiment. Hello, Christos Avatar. Hi, fam. Good to see you. One breath in. Much respect, Holy One. Magi Indigo already supporting this work tonight. First one tonight, Magi Indigo Child and Butterfly. Thank you, Butterfly. Machiwa Hermano, brother. Thank you, everything, Anahazi. Thank you, Magi Indigo, for that exchange of energy. And you guys, I survive off of your support. I can't do this without you guys. This is one of those unique jobs. This is my job where it's community-based. Thank you so much, Magi, Kings, Priest Kings. Goddess Lillian, hello, Machiwa to you, Holy One. Steve Hillard, also hello all. Nate Henry, Machiwa. Indigo Wizard in the house, what's up, brother? Thank you, guys. Looks like there's a question. If I may ask, do you have any information about what the Guardians call Ascension Plan B? Well, that's because Ascension Plan A didn't work. Ascension Plan A was something called the Sphere of Amente, connecting you to the something way in the future. What was that called? The Bridge Zone Project. Something called the Bridge Zone Project became outdated because some of the Stargates were taken over. So we couldn't do that anymore. By the Reptilians, by the Anunnaki. These guys are not schmucks. These races are very powerful. They've managed to punk the human race, who are actually higher than them in consciousness and biology. The human race is originally a guardian race. So they hate us. We don't hate. We don't have hate in our energies. We're not supposed to. They're the ones who hate. They're about judgment. They're about fear. They're about shaming. Okay? They're about you being subservient to them, worshiping them as gods. They're not gods. They're ETs claiming to be gods, claiming to be creator. There's only one of those. There's only one source. Okay? And that's doesn't have a gender. It's not a pronoun. It's pure consciousness. It's eternal. It's outside of the distorted time matrix. It includes everything, including the time matrix. It includes all. Gods beyond what humans have put on it. Like gender. It's like ridiculous. So that project is no longer available. Now it's just basically about learning bioregenesis, techniques. You'll have some people claiming different things, that you need to do this, you need to do that. No, you do not. What I'm saying is, you actually do need to do bioregenesis, because I was just making certain examples out here in New Age, but the Guardians talk about this fallen angelic attack against the human race throughout history, not just Sumer, but goes beyond into farther timelines that the mainstream does not acknowledge. They think we're only 6 to 7 or 8,000 years old, maybe 10,000 years old. BS. We're much more ancient than that. The Reptilians came 1 million years ago. They created the Dracos 1 million years ago. The Anunnaki were here and they created the Nephilim millions of years ago, which are hybrids mixed with humans. So they mutated, they inserted this DNA into our populations. Now amongst us, you have reptilian, alien, right, mixed with humans here, like hybrids. Same with the Anunnaki hybrids. And so now, and plus the Stargates were some of the Stargates were taken over. This is annoying, but we're gonna have this. I can't stop it, but this is this messed up our ascension process, and this is why they did all these things. This is why they came to those periods of time, and why they're coming now. They're trying to disempower the human race from accomplishing you would say, a planetary awakening, a global awakening. They don't want us awakening our higher consciousness, because that would take their power away. If we were awakened, we would dismiss these vampires, these fallen angels. These, they would no longer have power over us. We would become, awakened as a human race, start practicing the universal law of one, using the divine energy principles and free energy systems. We become immortal again. We would awaken and dismiss them, get them out of our, ostracize them out of our system. Any type of consciousness like this that's attacking the humans, we would, defensively, lovingly, transmute those beings out of our planet. And we have done that in the past. The Guardians did remove the original Dracos races. They did originally remove the Nephilim races. This was earlier in Human Seeding 2, Human Seeding 1. Now we're currently in Human Seeding 3. All of your history, Human Seeding 3 is actually 800,000 years long. That's a lot of history. That's what you call forbidden history. You're not taught that. There's a huge... You call it conspiracy theory. There's a huge, the Guardians call it the Atlantis conspiracy. The Atlantean conspiracy, which is, in this human seeding, 50,000 years. But there was another Atlantis in the more ancient times, and one even before that, and there's even another one off planet, which is connected to our race. Atlantis and Lemuria. This is part of the forbidden history, the hidden history, which we're talking about here tonight. So, Ascension Plan B, or C, or D, or whatever you want to call it, I think that's ridiculous. It's about you learning how to awaken your chakra, live in Christ consciousness, live in unity consciousness. If you can raise your consciousness, your chakra, what the Guardians call Templar, we have the Heart Templar. Do you even know what that is? No? Then start studying Cathara, biospiritual healing. It'll teach you how to activate it. So we got the throat chakra. We need the heart and the throat. The third eye is extra. You don't need that to ascend. But you do need the heart chakra to get out of 3D. You need the heart chakra and the throat chakra. Actually, 4.5. The minimum is 4.5. 5 strands is the one that gets you to 5D Tara. 4.5 gets you to inner earth. Now, that's a whole nother topic. Ascension, and all that is a whole nother topic. But basically, that is the Ascension plan. That is how Ascension works. Activate up to the 4.5 strand. And, might as well go for the throat chakra. That's the 5th strand. So 4, heart and throat. Blue ray, and green ray. Get these 2 chakra and live in Christ consciousness. Know what that means. Know what unity consciousness is. Practice the law of one. Practice the 12 attitudes of mastery. You are going to ascend, brothers and sisters. That's how you ascend. That's how you transmute the distortions in your DNA. The Guardians give extremely detailed, long, complicated, advanced, detailed information to transmute the crucifix in our DNA, you could say reverse the reverse DNA, because there's blocks in our DNA placed by the different races. Even the Guardians put a block on this once upon a time. So we have to understand these basic ideas and concepts, and that's how we do it. Good question, Holy One. But let's get back to tonight's topic. And so the Reptilians are, I made some notes for tonight's video that I'll be referring to, because they're a big part. They're big players in the human drama, you guys. And there's so many people are going to praise Reptilians, just like there is people praising Anunnaki, which includes Metatron, which includes, these are fallen, angelic, malevolent, diabolical, Luciferian races, man. But they're being worshipped as ET gods, some type of gods. I think they just shut off their freaking motorcycle, thankfully. But I better not talk too soon. Maybe he's just taking a break. Anyways, I was just talking about how they're being treated as good beings, positive beings. How many movies have you seen have reptilians in them, dragons in them? They're cool. Just to paint a picture, just to help paint this picture. We have the Amazing Spider-Man. They put him in these popular, high popular movies. Dr. Kurt Connors, the Lizard. What are you talking about, lizard people, homies? In movies, in comic books, in video games. You're going to find reptilians. Hey, who plays World of Warcraft? Who has? They brought in a new race, a dragon reptilian race, so that you can, role play a dragon, a reptilian, a fallen angel. Now it's a good being. Now it's a whatever being. They're in comics, videos, they're in movies like The Amazing Spider-Man. A scientist transforms into a massive humanoid lizard, symbolic of science merging with serpent DNA. You don't want to merge yourself with fallen angelic reptilians, homies. These hidden experiments, these are coming out of secret military elements, secret elements in the government and military. And it's soft disclosure coming out in movies and comic books and video games. Soft disclosure, that means not straight up disclosing, hey, these beings are real, but they're leaving signs, clues. They're seeding these signs. There is those who want us completely in the dark. Then there's those who want you to become aware of these things, I'm coming right out with disclosure right now, but these are soft disclosures like in movies. You'll be seeing reptiles and dragons in movies. Now it's in your mind. Now you're talking about them. Now you're seeing them. That's soft disclosure. Notice how these movies, like this one, has science experimentation. Visuals and storyline that reinforces the theme of transformation into reptilian form. How many of you have seen Jupiter Ascending? It's actually a really good movie, but realize the dark symbolism that's inside of there. There's a race of reptilians called Sargorns. Reptilian dragon hybrids. You guys, the Guardian teachings talk about these dragon reptilian hybrids, not from the movie, but the real ETs coming from Orion star system. The dragons coming out of Alpha Draconis. Okay, these Alpha Draconians, that's why they're called Draconians. Dragon. Dragons are aliens. Now they're being mystified. They're in fantasy. Now you love dragons. You're worshiping dragons. Game of Thrones. You're worshiping alien, fallen, angelic reptilians. Oh, dragons are cool, huh? Jupiter Ascending. These lizard-like creatures serve the elite Abraxas family. Their obedience to royalty and use as soldiers echoes the reptilian hierarchy in ancient myth and conspiracy. Not conspiracy, conspiracy fact. Represents genetic manipulation and off-world power. Off-world, not of this world. Extraterrestrials from their planets and galaxies and dimensions. How about the Chronicles of Riddick, 2004 movie? There was a race called Necromongers. Reptilian-like armor, cold-blooded mentality, right? The Underverse, the Phantom Universe, soft disclosure, Hell, Hades, Lake of Fire does exist, but just not from the religion point of view. It's a science thing. What is Hell? What is the Phantom Matrix? It's the Guardians call it a sub-time space distortion field, a black hole system, an anomaly. An anomaly is not part of nature or organic template of source God or of the time matrix. It's something that came after the fact, where something natural became distorted. Okay? Machiwa. And they call it the Underverse. And their hybrid look, their pale, scaled skin, bone armor, right, is metaphorically draconic. Represent the conquering death cult, because that's what these beings are all about. Fallen angels are about death, baby. The aspect of fallen reptilian orders. Up in your face in these popular movies like Chronicles of Riddick. How about The Descent, 2005? The Descent. Creatures they're called crawlers. Cave-dwelling, lizard-like humanoids. Wow, gee. Blind but pale humanoid lizard beings that feed on humans. You guys, a lot of people, like contactees, abductees, throughout history, not just modern age, have talked about how these reptilians eat people. They eat humans. I've even heard whistleblowers from the SSP talk about how they eat humans. You'll hear the governments behind the scenes talking about reptilians. Okay? They have no problems eating us. This is, a chilling underground metaphor for reptilian beings hiding beneath society. You'll find in movies like The Descent. How about Godzilla? What is Godzilla? A freaking lizard reptilian being the Japanese really put a heavy emphasis on Godzilla. Godzilla. He's promoted as a good guy. He's good. He's destroying shit, but he's good. He's cool. Godzilla cool. You watch the Godzilla movies. Godzilla's cool. He's fighting King Kong. He's fighting other creatures. My grandma, she used to love Godzilla. The original black and white movies. She was all into Godzilla. Right? Also called kaiju, dragon serpent hybrid snake, dragon snake, which is coming out of the fallen angelic races, homies. We're going to be talking about that as soon as we cover how they're out in the public, like in movies like Godzilla series. A giant ancient reptilian beast awakened from the depths. Man, they didn't just awaken. They've been here for millions of years, literally. Your mainstream timeline, it sucks ass. It's BS. This is our timeline, millions, hundreds of millions of years. Often associated with nuclear power, right? Destruction, godlike dominion. Themes that parallel the reptilian overlord archetypes. Even in the Lord of the Rings, the Two Towers, the fell beast ridden by the Nazgul. Fell beasts. Demonic beings, underworld beings. Serpent-winged, dragon-like beast used by dark beings. That's what these beings are, dark. Represent reptilian servitors of shadow forces in a fantasy context. Dragonheart, literally Draco, the Western dragon type. Draco, voice of Sean Connery, humanizes the dragon, but it represents the ancient dragon bloodline concept. Okay, often seen in royal myth, they always portraying themselves as royalty, as kings, as queens, emperors, pharaohs. They're not finished for their motorcycle extravaganza, dirt bike. The last dragon, symbolic of hidden surviving reptilian royalty. How about the Reign of Fire? You remember that movie? That had two big actors in that. McConaughey and the one actor, arrogant prick, what's his name? Who played Batman. He's a good actor, but he's a jerk in real life, right? Two macho guys on the same set. The fire-breathing dragons. Dragons galore in all kinds of movies. People love dragons. Hey, I've loved dragons, but you understand? This is a mind control. This is you getting entangled into and worshiping, idolizing these fallen angels in one form of another. Now, but some of you maybe came late. At the beginning of the show, I did say a disclaimer that there are positive beings who got a host matrix, who got a healing. So don't hate on me because I'm talking about dragons as being negative or connected to dark fallen angelic races, because you missed that part maybe. But their races fell. Their races are fallen angelic beings. They're legions of fallen angels. In Reign of Fire, dragons rise from hibernation and nearly destroy human civilization. That's what they want to do, right? This film openly aligns dragons, reptilians with apocalyptic prophecy. And when it comes to reptilian races, you get dragon type of looking ones, just ordinary reptilian kind of ones. You get winged reptilian ones. You get gargoyle type of creatures. Those are all representing the reptilians. So even in a movie like Constantine, you have serpent gargoyle futures in the demons. They're demons, man. They're fallen angels. Several entities have reptilian eyes, slithering movements, because they're serpents. That's another category of reptilians. Serpent beings, like the Nagas, distorted gargoyle-like forms, implying demonic, reptilian, fallen overlap in visual symbolism, like in the movie Constantine. Pan's Labyrinth, the Pale Man, a ghoulish, vaguely amphibian, reptilian entity with sunken skin and long fingers, symbolizing, oh my gosh, dude. When I saw that movie, you see these movies and they have a little kid, whether it's a little boy or a little girl. These dark freaking royalty elites eat children. You know what I'm saying? I can't say too many keywords here. There's some white powder they get out of the loose energy. They get out of sacrificing. It's all about blood to these people. And they'll put it in movies because movies are part of the programming. This little girl is talking to a freaking demonic looking creature. This innocent kid. And there's another movie that was like that too. It escapes me right now, but I might think of it later. Symbolizes child sacrifice and occult power. Themes tied to reptilian mythos. That was a very dark movie, but it was a fantasy movie. It was still interesting to watch, but if you have a Christic pointed background, you understand exactly what's happening here. Thor, Ragnarok. There was a creature called Surtur, a fire giant wolf. Oh, Fenris, a giant wolf, but also includes scaled creatures in Sakaar. Background reptilian beasts fight in the gladiator arena. Suggests reptilians used as entertainment and slave species, mirroring some of the SSP narratives, by the way. SSP stands for Secret Space Program. How about The Witcher? It's on Netflix, and it's a game. They also made a game out of it. The creatures were called basilisks, or dragons, lizard-like monsters. Okay? What did I tell you at the beginning? They put these things in movies, in comic books, and video games. Draws from real-world lore of serpents, controlling minds and spreading death. A nod to reptilian infiltration symbolism. Dungeons and Dragons, you get it early in your childhood. As a teenager, I was playing Dungeons and Dragons, and now you're role-playing as a freaking fallen angel. You don't know it, but that's what you're doing. The creatures like the dragons, red or black, Yuan-Ti, serpent beings. They're snake people, lizard people, snake people, like the Inky are snake people. People want to worship Enlil, Inky, Marduk, when all three of those beings, which are races of beings, have reptilian genetics inside of them. And they live on planet Nibiru, by the way, in our solar system. No wonder the Sumerians worship them. Very much in line with the reptilian overlords and underground networks. And fallen angels work in the shadows, work underground, work in secret. This is the shadow way. Work in mystery, work in symbolism. They're still communicating to you. You're still receiving this energy. And there's a movie straight up called Gargoyles. Creatures, reptilian bird hybrids. And that's exactly what is the Odedicron, fallen angelic race coming out of Orion. They're winged reptilians, man. Where do you think gargoyles come from? Winged reptiles, reptilians. So, wait. I think I have my camera upside down. Holy shit, I'm looking on the wrong side. Sorry, guys. I can't change it now, but I'll start looking in the right locations. Sorry if that was bothering you. Because it's upside down and I got it the wrong way, so I'm used to looking right there. So. And not to mention, reptilians have been worshipped throughout history. They're still being worshipped, right? They're still all over churches. They're still in religion. Oh my gosh, man. Okay, remember, these beings want you to worship them as God. What is Quetzalcoatl? You know, a lot of the South American races are worshiping reptilians. A lot of the North American, some of the other cultures are worshiping Anunnaki type of gods, ET gods. Well, here's a reptilian example. Mesoamerican, worshipped by the Aztec, the Toltec, and the Mayans. This is a feathered serpent god. Okay? You guys understand that we have the gold flame, the blue flame, and the violet flame. Reptilian races come out of the gold flame. The seraphim, fallen angelic races. The seraphim also create bird races. So of course, they're very close together in genetics and family-wise. So you will have some reptilians with bird features. Where do you think wings come from? It's coming from part of the seraphim races that have bird features, avian features. So I haven't had this problem in a long time. You guys have been with me many, many Saturdays. Today we just got lucky. All right, so yeah, this is why these Quetzalcoatl, it's being worshipped as a good thing. A lot of people who are going to disagree with this information are because they're worshiping these beings, because they honor these beings, love these beings, sending energy to these beings, working in the occult with these beings, doing practice magic spells with these beings, doing moon worship with these beings. To each their own. Because it's being this fallen angelic being is a feathered serpent god associated with wisdom, wind, and creation. You're being told this is your creator. The Mayans were. The Toltecs were being told this. The Aztecs were worshiping Quetzalcoatl, a reptilian ET god, not God. There's only one of those. Despite being viewed, positively by some, he is often linked with alien origins or fallen sky gods in alternative history circles, right? Depicted as reptilian serpent hybrid with bird-like features. This is a historical being. I'm not making this stuff up, you guys. It's in history. It's a hallmark of. You can see it's a hybrid. It's DNA blending. How about ancient Egypt? They were worshiping cat people, but there's some that were worshiping serpent beings. Apophis, I'm not saying it right. Apep. Ancient Egypt. God. AT God, not a god, false god. Chaos serpent that battled the sun god Ra every night. Wow, every night represented primordial darkness, entropy, and evil, an eternal enemy of divine order. Which is the case, because some of the Egyptians acknowledged the guardians, and so they know the serpent, the dragon, the lizards, people, are against the cat races, against the guardians, against Creator God. Now it's about bringing in these gods, whether they're being represented as wisdom or not. It's about subservience. Get on your knees. It's about a blood ritual sacrifice. Man, those Aztecs had no problem cutting off heads, rolling down the pyramid steps. The Inca, the Mayans, the Toltecs, they had some dark twists. Their original guardian spiritual beliefs were twisted by these intruder extraterrestrial races. And now their original teachings of, unity consciousness went bye-bye. Now they're, subservient and in fear and worshiping these beings. Every culture, man, that we thought was a good example, you find that the Egyptians are worshiping these beings. The Mayans are, the Aztecs are, the Christians are, the Toltecs are, where they're all worshiping fallen angel, false ET gods, including Father Yahweh, including Allah, including Brahma. These are not gods or the God. Imposter gods who are acting like demons, who have characteristics of anger, judgment, destruction. This is not a divine heavenly being, but they're being worshipped as it. Wake up, human race. Get off your knees. The Nagas. In Hinduism, in Buddhism, Southeast Asia, serpent beings, reptilians, who dwell in the underworld, hell, Hades, lake of fire, the phantom matrix. Fallen angels, they call it Patala, or hidden realms beneath mountains and oceans. Maybe there's portals there, doorways, gateways. They're coming here and influencing us, tricking the human heart and spirit, mind. They can be both benevolent or dangerous. Protectors of wisdom or hoarders of secrets. Often associated with genetic hybridization, because that's what they're doing to us. That's what they have done and are still doing now, 2025. And ancient lineages, what about Enki, Ea, the Sumerian, Babylonian, Akkadian thing, a creator god. Worship these beings. They all want you to worship them and be in subservience, man. And you're going to have Inky lovers say, oh, no, he came to bring us knowledge and teaching. Same with Thoth. Thoth is another fallen angelic, part reptilian being, serpent specifically. Maybe on Earth, because he's a hybrid. He was a hybrid. He looked human looking, but still different and unique. But on his home world, and I'm going to show pictures later, he was a serpent-looking dude. Inky and Anunnaki are serpent beings. Insectoid serpents, reptilians. Inky, Ea, some interpretations describe him as a serpent, did they not? Some interpret, especially in later Gnostic and esoteric interpretations, a serpent or a dragon figure, draconian, Omicron draconians, dragon moths, winged reptiles, baby. But, often in contrast with Enlil, but both are, reptilian type agendas. Even if they're opposing each other, they're both reptilian agendas, man. There's a Slavic mythology, Zmei Gornich. I cannot pronounce that, you guys. A multi-headed dragon, that devours villagers and kidnaps women. Nice creature, huh? A symbol of corrupted power and destructive force, often defeated by some hero. But it reflects the archetype that we're talking about, the reptilian overlord from the underworld. Hell, Hades, a fallen angel. Coming up into our myths, our folklores, our religions, our New Age beliefs as gods and being worshipped as so. You know, the bad guys pretend to be good guys. I always got to check and make sure I'm still connected to chat. Yeah. I'll get back to chat, you guys, and I'll check for questions. So I just want to finish these religious figures, reptilian figures, you know, that have been historical. It's not just new. Ancient China. I can't pronounce this either. I'm not, you know, I don't speak Chinese, but Fuxi, Nuwa. Fuxi and Nuwa, ancient China, divine brother, sister, serpent beings. You see how all over the world, South America, China, you know, all these different places have these beings are being worshipped, man. And still to this day, in comic books and movies, we're looking up to these beings. Same freaking beings. Millions of years ago, thousands of years ago, today. And these beings, you're going to get this creation narrative, you guys. All these beings, Osiris, Yahweh, Jehovah God, all these beings supposedly created the human race, including this Chinese serpent gods, always depicted as human from the waist up, but serpent from the waist down. Human serpent hybrids. Legends say they repaired the heavens. Oh, such nice beings. Sorry to tell you, but that is BS. They're not heroes. They didn't repair heaven. Why would heaven, if there, you know, be need repairing? But also altered humanity's blueprint. What? You know, genetic modification again. You'll see this DNA infiltration, hybridization, twisting. They want you something other than human. They want you now. Some of our human race is not just human, are they? They're part reptilian now. They're part Anunnaki now. You know, you guys, we have several different blood types. The scientists say, who don't believe in aliens, by the way, who say we come from apes, who say we came from Cro-Magnon and Neanderthals. BS! For example, they're always trying to put their DNA into our DNA for different reasons. One of the reasons is that's a military strategy. Now, you're not fully human. You don't have the full DNA blueprint as a guardian race. Right? Now also, their soul lineages now can incarnate into your bodies. Now you're representing a fallen angelic lifetime incarnation. Now it's not a human spirit soul essence in there. Now it's some freaking extraterrestrial. It's hybridization from other ETs is a military freaking strategy. Straight up, you guys. And that's what these movies and these ancient so-called gods, not gods, ET gods, false gods, ET false gods. They didn't repair heaven. Heaven or the guardian, you know, love and light of dimensions don't need repairing. They don't have darkness there. How about Tiamat? You know, we talked about Sumer, but there's Babylonian mythology. A primordial chaos dragon. Of course, it's about chaos. And, you know, the Guardians talk about the path of chaos. Fallen angels, while angels, guardian beings, follow the path of order, they prefer and follow the path of chaos. So these beings are about chaos. They're about destruction, just like your Father God is about chaos, destruction, and sacrifice. all call signs of a fallen angel, either reptilian, Anunnaki, or a mixture of the two. And it's a chaos dragon goddess, Tiamat, in Babylonian mythology, who birthed the gods. After being slain by Marduk, it's a female in their mythology, her body was used to create the world. Wow, we're created by this Babylonian serpent goddess. No, we aren't. BS. Indigo called BS. This is a classic serpent creator myth. You get lots of those. Hello, we just mentioned the Mayan one, the Aztec one. Quetzalcoatl. This one, Tiamat, represents the mother goddess and draconic force. A duality seen in reptilian type controllers. Now, there's the biblical representation. They talk about the seraphim. And these teachings make it quite clear the difference between seraphi and seraphim. Seraphi is the original guardian consciousness. Seraphim is when some of these seraphi fell and they became distorted, became dark. Now they're seraphim. You see the difference? Seraphi, seraphim. What do they have in the Bible? Not Elohai or Seraphi. They have Elohim and Seraphim. Another sign, what my channel has made hundreds of videos about, religions are fallen angelic tools, fallen angelic systems. And it's not your brother Anuhazi making that up. It is in 500 pages, man. This is about angels and fallen angels. It's about the war that we're dealing with them. Same with angelic realities. Oh, it's called angels. So is Voyagers 1, Voyagers 2. It's about angels and fallen angels. It's about guardian races and reptilian and Anunnaki reptilian hybrid races. It's about what the F is actually happening on planet Earth. As you can see now, you're getting an idea how this has been happening for ages, man. How about the Mayan god called Kukulkan? Like Quetzalcoatl, a feathered serpent deity tied to sky and stars and elite rulers. Descends from the heaven. ETs, just like the Sumerians described them, descended from the heavens. They're from the heavens. You don't know what are dimensions, so you call them heavens. These aliens, ET, false gods, came from the stars. They're your elite rulers. Now they're your pharaohs. Now they're your kings. You guys, guardian civilizations don't have kings and queens and emperors. These are fallen angelic systems, just like religions are fallen angelic systems, just like there's New Age fallen angelic systems. This is a takeover. They're taking over our planet. These are signs of part of Earth's consciousness falling into the phantom. When you are aligning yourself, when you're feeding phantom beings, false ET God beings, for all ages we've been doing this. Not just modern times. This is a spiritual bondage we're in. The humans, this is why there's starseeds coming here and birthing in. And indigo children are birthing in to help balance this teeter-totter. It's way over on the dark side, the phantom side. We're bringing some Christ consciousness, some unity consciousness. We're trying to balance out the fallen angelic damage biologically and energetically. You, brother and sister, we come here, Christos avatars, baby, angelic humans, indigo children, light workers, empaths that serve light. And we're calling shadow out. All these things that we're transmuting those old paradigms. Your brother Anuhazi is right here on this social media platform, reaching 450,000 people on all my platforms when you add them up. So grateful and honored that you guys are part of that team. We're part of that shield. We're part of that guard. Guardians guard. We defend. We're not aggressive. We don't attack. We defend against these false gods, ET gods, against the false religions and false New Age systems. This is our job. You have a starseed mission, Holy Ones. This is what we represent. So represent. So guard. So expose. Do your social media. We have to be mindful of the censorship. Don't get yourself kicked off. How does that help? We're not saying go along. We're saying be careful, be mindful. I always have to be careful and mindful. I have 5 platforms that I have to protect and keep up. So I will, walk on this ice carefully. Typhon, Greek mythology. Don't leave out the Greeks. A monstrous serpent-bodied being. Father again. Put pronoun on God. Put junk, a swinging penis on God, right? That's the human ideas. It's a male thing. Father of all monsters. Fought Zeus for control of Mount Olympus. Symbolizes the uprising of fallen reptilian type beings, against cosmic order. Father of Chimera, another reptilian species. Hydra, another hybrid monsters, right? How about, don't leave the Nordics out, or Norse people, Norse mythology. Jormungandr, the world serpent. Of course, it's some global thing. It includes all of us, right? We're all part of that global serpent, so large it encircles the earth. You guys paying attention to the symbology. Their symbology. Destined to fight Thor. You're sending all this. You're getting bombarded by this reptilian frequency. Destined to fight Thor, Ragnarok, a battle of light. Oh, Thor's not light, homie. Versus the ancient serpent. It's one faction versus another. Thor's a god in movies. Little kids are putting up this Norse god's poster and worshiping it. And this represents primal forces of control, limitation, and inevitable doom. And the last one, for an example, is the dragon. What does the Christianity, the Book of Revelation say? The dragon. Satanic archetype. And even the Guardians say there's a difference between Lucifer and Satan, but they're not people. I'll repeat that. Satan and Lucifer are not individuals, even though that's what we're trained and used to thinking. Like, I call my dad on Father's Day. We're having all these amazing conversations, but I keep hearing the program. He keeps calling God a he. Over and over, I say, Dad, you know it's not a he. But later on in the conversation, he's still referring to God as a he. It's deep, deep programming. Global programming. Yahweh is an ET false god, and God is not a he. What's up? This Luciferian, Lucifer is a race, not some being who fell from heaven. Okay? Satan is not some being that's living in the fiery pits of hell. Oh, it's in the Phantom Matrix, but Satan is a reptilian thing. Satan, think reptilian. Lucifer, think Anunnaki, because that's where they're coming from. Coming from the Emerald Order, exposing it. Now your brother Ahanahazi is teaching it too. Satan comes from a family, an extraterrestrial family from another planet, another star system. It's not coming from Earth ideas and religion ideas. It's coming from another dimension, another galaxy, another star system. So we have Satan. They were called Satan, and Lucifer, Lulitan. It's a families. These are literal families, like the Smiths, the Jones of humans. Well, they're the Satans and the Lulitans. It is families. Are you getting this? Lucifer is a family of Anunnaki, a powerful family of ETs. Like in this Jupiter Rising, they have these elite royal families, elite hybrid beings. In that movie, it's crazy if you see that movie. They're family lines who want control and power and influence here. Satan and Lulitan, Satan and Lucifer. Now you got all these twisted, distorted, broken ideas of what is Satan and Lucifer. You don't even know what is God. You think it's a father with swinging with junk and who's pissed off and judging you. You see how lost and confused and you truly are in spiritual bondage, human race. Billions of you humans are stuck and entangled in these false teachings. We call them false creeds, false concepts, false beliefs. There is the true, real God. There's the true, real spiritual teachings. And there's fake ones, false ones, impersonating ones. If you go on a spiritual journey, maybe you'll start to awaken to those things. And I'll talk about more of this, but let me go back to the chat. Machiwa, holy ones. Whoa. Leo Murray, brother. These are the people supporting my channel. Thank you so much, Leo Murray. Bless you, brother. I need a drink of water, guys. Thank you, Leo, brother. Thank you for being here for a regular for several years now. He's probably my oldest member here. Thank you, Leo. Bless you, brother. Tanya Shah, sending some support. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you for being here, Holy One. Bless you, sister. Glad to have you here with us. Enlotin, what's up, Holy One? Woohoo! And he leaves a message. I love you all. Keep the message alive, Holy One. You too, brother. Wherever you are in your side of the planet, whoever's around you, in your family, your friends, your workplace, your school, keep bringing and representing the Christos, the guardians, Source God, Machua, Omni Love, Unity, Christ Consciousness. Bless you, Ellington. Sir Madism, representing membership area. I just realized Rainbow Star represent. Moosh love family. GSF for life. Omni Love. You got character homes. You know what's up, Sir Madism. Thank you, Colonel. Familia. Sup? I know your hood. Where you from, I say? I'm from the innerchristos. Vato, what about you? What's up, Holmes? We got Barrome in the house. Thank you for coming back, Holy One. This is a different country, you guys, so this is a different currency. It's not what you think. I'm so happy to have you here, brother. What time is it where you live? Please write it in the comments. I'm curious to know where you live, or what time zone. Right now, here, it's about 7:30 p.m. in Pacific Standard Time. So you're awake somewhere far away, right? This could be a bit narrow-minded, but for a fool's guide for these teachings, could these be summarized to us being proxies for a spiritual war for influence? Different ascended alien races are fighting through us in order to saturate control over humanity and Earth. Thank you for the answer. It is both, brother. Thank you for good question. It is both spiritual and physical. Okay? So they're on Earth as hybrids among us. They walk among us as hybrids. And they're in UFO ships. They're in motherships. They're in underground bases. They're in undersea bases. They're physical too. Now, the hybrids were created a long time ago. So you're going to have families, royalty, elite bloodlines on Earth that are ancient. You have ancient Anunnaki bloodlines. You have ancient reptilian bloodlines. And these are all beings who find they have these advantages, so they always end up in places of power. They get in control of the money. They're the ones being elected to power. They're the politicians. And a lot of people have confirmed that the elite, the Hollywood, it's all satanic or Luciferian. It's all dark, fallen angelic races. Bloodlines on Earth. It's a physical thing and a spiritual thing, because you can't get into one of those bodies without an avatar soul essence coming into it. So it's this multi-dimensional thing. That's what's really a spiritual thing, something outside of your dimension coming into your dimension. That's a spiritual thing. So this is plus they're the ones creating the religions. I just explained that religion is not a good thing. You get Jesus out of it. Jesus is a distortion, man. That's not the real Jesus. That's a false, just like there's false gods, there's false Jesus. Because the Jesus in the Bible is still pushing hell, still pushing crucifixion and death and blood ritual, is still promoting his own Father God, Yahweh. Jesus has mentioned Father God many times in the New Testament. So it's both physical and spiritual. These beings are talked about even in the secret space program. They're very aware of the reptilians. So much testimony has come out of that the reptilians own the base on the moon. No, the whole moon is a base. The whole moon is not a real moon. Okay? This is an ancient false moon. It's a fake moon. It's not a real satellite around our Earth. It doesn't naturally come from our Earth. This is coming from somewhere else. And even in the secret space program, they say there's reptilians in there, homies. More than one source talks about that. And so, hopefully that answers some of your question, brother. Thank you for being here again, homie. Gina Sutton! Woohoo! My Chiwa sister! What's up, Gina? I can't wait to see you again. I know there will be some opportunity in the future. Such a blessing to have you here with us. And I got to see her. I got to talk to her. I know she's a guardian too. So there's some people who are fake out here, but she's one of the real ones. Thank you, Gina, for being here. And I hope your awakening is coasting, rising. Thank you, Gina. Bless you, sister. Wow. Wait. Robin Kirk in the house. What's up, Diamond Star? Oh, she's calling out Diamond Star. What's up, Diamond Star? Learn wisdom. Woohoo! Steve Hiller, brother. Woo, thank you, man. Thank you, Christos Avatar TV, for sharing the Guardian's wisdom. It is my honor, man. It is my mission. And I'm so, this is my joy. And so, and I don't run out of energy. I will work and keep on doing this work. And it's not easy. It is not, I don't always get breaks. I have to struggle to grow. The beginning was easy. I wasn't shadow banned. I was rising. I was rising in all my platforms, dude. All of them were kicking ass. And so I was going like this. I was going like this. Oh, flatline. And it's not exactly flatline. It's kind of like a little bit angle. Now I'm like this. Instead of like this, I'm like this. Not because my content got worse. My content got better. I improved. Not only the message, not only the presentation, but also the quality of the material. But it didn't matter because I became censored on YouTube on, it's called shadow ban. Not a literal kickoff ban, but a shadow ban where they hold down any videos to go viral. I can't get viral videos. I'm not allowed to reach millions. Machiwa. So I'm going to slowly creep to, it's going to take probably 6 months for YouTube to get to 100K. I was normally getting 3,000 new subscribers a month. Now it's only 1,000. So it's going to take a long time. It's going to take like half a year to get to 100K. But I will. TikTok is basically standing still. Instagram stays still. And definitely Twitter stays still. Facebook gives me breaks sometimes. Sometimes Facebook's, like just recently, I have 300,000 views on one of my Anunnaki videos and another 200,000 on another Anunnaki video. So some videos actually do well on Facebook. They're a mixed censored type of people. But I know the difference because I've been through the difference. I know what it was like when I used to post, boom, 10,000 views in 5 minutes, kind of thing. That was normal. No, not anymore. Now you're like, So I'm still gonna fight the fight. I'm still gonna be sending this Christos frequency out, this awakening, consciousness. Helena in the house. Thank you guys. So good. So happy to see you guys out here. What is it else I wanted to... Here's some like reptilian type themes hidden in plain sight, you guys. We've all seen some of these things. Gargoyles on churches and cathedrals. What the F? What the hell are you putting some ghoulish looking creature? Oh, it's to protect the church. What kind of asinine, ridiculous... Did you fall for that? Did you fall for that? I didn't fall for that. I call BS on that. Indigo called bullshit. Those gargoyles are not guardians protecting. Just like some people put owls on their houses to protect. You ain't protecting jack shit. All you're doing is anchoring some of this fallen angelic energy or representing that energy found on Notre Dame. And many Gothic. Well, what the F is a church being Gothic? Often winged, reptilian-faced beings with fangs and claws. They don't look friendly looking. They're not sweet or pleasant looking. Because they're fallen angels. They're creatures representing death and darkness and, claim to ward off evil. But many represent ancient draconic protectors and watchers, possibly fallen, huh? How about royal crests and coats of arms? Many royal families, who are the royal families? These bloodlines, reptilian bloodlines, are going to put a coat of honor. They're going to represent the dragon, the serpent, the lizard, the gargoyles. That's their icons. That's their gods, man. They're putting their sources of power and allegiance to these beings in their coat of arms, for example, in their royal crests. Because many royal families use dragons, serpents, and griffins. Did you notice? Or no? You didn't notice that part? You see it throughout history, man. In Middle Ages, the Renaissance, the red dragon of Wales on the Welsh flag symbolizes dragon bloodline rulers or divine right to rule. That's their mentality. They think they have a right to rule you. They're superior than you. You understand what this mentality is? Because the Guardian's source God is about not only equality, but it's about omni love, unconditional love. There's only equality in love. Not better than you. I'm a chosen. I'm favored. I am more evolved. I'm more advanced. I'm better. I'm greater than you. BS. Transmute that. Fallen angelic message. Dialogue. Thought form. Pluck it out. Dismiss it. Goodbye. Good riddance. Out with the old and with the Christ consciousness and unity. Equality. Unconditional love. Loving. Not this mentality. You can see this mentality, this serpent seed ideology a mile away. Can't you, brother, sister? You can't see this? You can't sense it and be witness to it in history? How about jewelry and fashion? Serpent rings, snake bracelets, dragon scale armor designs, especially prevalent in elite fashion houses, high ritual art, and pop stars' symbolic wardrobes, of course. I mean, these pop stars are just straight up dressing like Satan. Dragons, demons, straight up. Using their colors, using their icons. Wake the F up. Are you waking up? No, really. That's not, what's that called? That's a direct question. Are you waking up? Not rhetoric. Because, these pop stars, these elite people, it's coding to represent ancient power, transformation, or dominance, aligned with reptilian traits. I mean, think about this, man. In New Age, what's the Kundalini symbol? A coiled freaking serpent. Serpent. No, there ain't no freaking serpent being symboled. Do you see any of the Emerald Order teachings with a snake serpent on the, you would say, like the Cathara grid? Do you see any serpent symbology in the chakras? No serpents, homie. Just like you're going to see the serpent in freaking Kundalini in the Hinduism, you're going to see the same thing in Reiki systems. It's a reptilian healing system. You're going to be using their symbols and their energies and their agendas that go with it. Coil snake my ass, man. Dual serpents in the Caduceus symbol, right? The medical thing. Often you confused with medical healing, but originates from serpent worship. Right out in your open, in your medical. Ancient temples with serpent imagery. Our brother, Mr. Madism, showed lots of that in the Egyptian. The distorted okay, you're going to see throughout history some positive iconography, hieroglyphs, statues, and some of the intruding ones. The ones that came later were the snake, serpent things that came later. That's where you see the attack on the original Egyptian spirituality. Now it's about going underworld and about death and what the shit, man. Angkor Wat, Cambodia. Chichen Itza, Mexico. Egyptian temples all have serpent motifs, reptilian connections in their temples and churches. Just like the modern, Notre Dame has the gargoyles, you're going to get ancient ones too. Includes coiled snakes. That was in some of Sir Madison's pictures too. Reptilian gods, feathered serpents carved in sacred walls, not sacred, with the F kind of shit. Evidence of reptilian type deities being openly venerated. Dragons and festivals, of course, and flags. The Chinese New Year, heavy into dragons, right? The serpent dragon. Hello, you're lining yourself with reptilian fallen angels, homies. How's that working out for ya? Aren't you some, I don't want to be political, but they are, their government, right? Chinese New Year dragon parades, Japanese and Korean dragon myths. Some people are going to say I'm attacking their beliefs. Dude, we're exposing the sources and roots of these beliefs. This platform teaches how cultures and religions have been undermined, not yesterday, but a long, long time ago. And if you don't need to take my word for it, just look at the characteristics of these beings. Look at the characteristics of Yahweh. Look at the characteristics of Allah. Look at the characteristics, of these other gods. They're cutting off heads. They're doing blood ritual sacrifices. They're conquering. They're holy wars. Okay? They're sacrificing messiahs or kids. They're murdering all males, women, children, and animals. It's red flags up in your face. This is how much asleep humans are. They don't see it, man. And then you got these TV shows like Vikings, a popular TV series. And it's these Nordic gods are about sacrificing humans straight up. And there was this beautiful scene. A beautiful scene, man. It was called, this episode in Vikings was called Sacrifice. Because not only are the Christians sacrificing with blood rituals, so are the Vikings sacrificing with blood rituals. The only reason why you see this emotion, because it is real on planet Earth. These demonic, reptilian, Anunnaki gods, not gods, E.T. false gods, up in the humans, billions of angelic humans are worshiping these beings. Get off your knees, human race! What are you doing? Do you not see? Are you blind? What is wrong with you? Machiwa! There is a real Christ, Christos. It doesn't demand sacrifice. It isn't scary and judgmental based on fear. It is not murdering. DNA serpent imagery. Double helix entwined serpents. Hello. I mean, possible hints at reptilian tampering with genetics and control through healing. Hollywood logos in media symbols. Slytherin house, Harry Potter, symbolized by a snake. Traits of cunning, power, blood purity. V, TV show V, if you've never heard of it, look it up. Reptilian aliens, hybrids, or just reptilians disguised as humans. Doctor Who and Stargate both featured serpent-like overlord gods, right? Ruling ancient and galactic societies, just like they have done to Earth, man. Ruled by false gods. All gods, man. Every freaking god on Earth is a false ET, fallen angelic god. There is no real gods being worshipped because the real God does not demand worship. That's a demon thing. That's a vampire thing. We got obelisks and serpent staffs in public spaces. You know? These obelisks are tied to Egyptian sun serpent cults. But you didn't know that because you're from, modern times. You don't remember what they did in ancient Egypt. How you had all these different factions of fallen angelic beings popping up in those times. All these Isis cults, Horus cults, snake cults. So many of you New Agers worshiping Isis and Horus and Thoth. Hidden power symbols of serpent-wielding priest class. The Vatican and papal symbols. The Vatican Audience Hall. It's called Paul VI Hall. It's shaped like a serpent head from above. Man, you cannot deny this. You are a fool. And you're blind if you can't see the serpent head in the Pope's audience chamber. If you're a fool, you're blind. If you can't see the snake eyes, and you can't see the tongue, and you can't see the scales in the Pope's audience hall. Look it up if you can't see it. No, it's just the church. No, it's just stained glass. No, it's no reptile. And what the F? What the F is behind the Pope? What the shit is that? It's a freaking reptilian. It ain't Jesus. And if it was Jesus, what the F kind of scene is that? But you do not see any peaceful symbolism there. You're only going to see some occult, twisted, dark symbols in there. Because that's what they represent. That's the energy and the consciousness of the church. I don't care if you're Catholicism or Christian or whatever. It's all twisted in these fallen, angelic, false ET gods. Not real gods. Pretty jacked up characteristics. These supposed false ET gods are worse than humans. Video games like Pokemon, right? Little kids Little kids. What is Pokemon? Eakins, Arbok, Zelda. What is Zelda? Gamma, Ganon, Skyrim, video game, dragons, scaled beast races, reptilian villains, often portrayed as powerful overlords, cold-blooded, and ancient. Youth are saturated with reptilian archetypes, normalized. Now it's normal. Now you don't agree with this message because it's become normal. Now I'm schizophrenic. Now I'm a conspiracy theorist. You guys, everything I'm saying tonight is coming from the Guardian teachings. Your brother Anuhazi isn't making this up. And that was not anger you saw. That was passion, baby. I am passionate about this. And I will get better at self-reserve and controlling that. But sometimes it will come out. So apologize if anyone was offended. But this is sometimes some people are just not getting it. They're just not seeing it. They're just still got a lot of their own shit to clear. Reptilian symbolism is about hidden control. Reptiles are cold-blooded, right? Silent hunters, right? Just like how these beings operate from the shadows. Often associated with the lower chakras. You know, lower chakras. That's the low consciousness. Basic instincts. You know, the butt chakra, the groin chakra, that's survival, baby. That's sex energy only. That's their consciousness. They don't got no higher consciousness. That's down here consciousness. You know some people like that? Lust, control fetishes, survival. They're stuck in survival mode. Talk about how, you know, this is like bypassing your heart. Okay, the higher chakras and the Christos connection. This other serpent energy feeds on fear and power. In Gnosticism, so many people are into Gnosticism. The archons are parasitic, you know, they're serpent-like beings who control the false matrix. In Genesis, the serpent was more cunning than any beast. Okay? The Bible is saying, look at this intelligent being. Look at the reptilian. It knows better, right? Yeah. In occult traditions, serpents are often gatekeepers of hidden knowledge. But it's often knowledge that it's distorted and fallen, guys. The obsession. You're going to see an obsession with scales and serpents and eyes. Serpent eyes. Why do we constantly see slit pupil eyes, scaled textures, and snake motifs in media, art, and logos? The eye of Horus, the all-seeing eye, and even the reptilian eye flash trope. This may signal the presence of non-human overlords behind institutions. Maybe, just maybe. Reptilian-type beings in hybrid bloodlines. You know, the serpent seed theology. Oh, the reptilians created us. The reptilian is our god. You know, there's Anunnaki tampering. You know, royal bloodlines said to carry reptilian DNA. Some elites even claim, you know, divine rule. Or the right to rule. You know, based on dragon ancestry. Oh, it's in our blood, so we are going to be the rulers over you. We have the right to rule. Merovingian, I can't say that bloodline. Some of you know what I'm talking about. But this is contrasted with the Christos Diamond Sun DNA, which is open source and heart-based. You see the huge contrast in energy, maybe, huh? Maybe some of you. And do not deny, some of you will, the infiltration of the Ascension and New Age movement. Many New Age beings, Ashtar, Archangel Michael, are actually reptilian imposters in light disguise. You know where Archangel Michael's coming from? Let me show you on my 15-dimensional time matrix diagram. One second, let me pull it up. It's easier to see. Okay, it's up. Now let me switch it. This is your precious Archangel Michael, which is a reptilian hybrid. Reptilian hybrid! Archangel Michael is not a real being. It's a fabricated being for you to worship and venerate. See, these are Anu Seraphim, Blue Flame, Elohim Seraphim. This is Anunnaki and Reptilian. Jehovian Anunnaki and Dragon hybrid variations. These are mixtures of Anunnaki and Draconian races. These are. And that's where Archangel Michael comes from. It's part reptilian, homie. It's called a Nephilim, Necromaton Nephilim, Archangel Michael, Matrix, Archangel Michael, that's your self-proclaimed archangel. It doesn't even exist. But all these New Agers will say that's blasphemy. How dare you? He's a guardian with the blue sword. May he cut off your head. You know. Here's your reptilians, man. We have the 15-dimensional time matrix. It was created by Source God. Source God put a piece of itself. So follow this very carefully. God, see the big arrow? God put a piece of itself. See the arrow, right? You see? The God put a piece of itself in the cosmos. God is the cosmos. Everything in the cosmos is within God. This is within God. Everything is within. See, look. God put itself in the cosmos. What we call ascended masters are God, levels of God, because they're frequencies of God. It's representing its part of God. These parts of God, Source God, created all of this time matrix. They created all of the planets and all of the alien races. So God put a piece of itself into the cosmos as ascended masters, and then the ascended masters, still God, created aliens and races in the time matrix, still God. So these parts of God have free will, and some of them fell. Some of them said, I am Source. This is Source. There's only one Source. But something down here, way down here, is saying, no, I am Source God, worship me, including the Domicron dragon moths in the 10th dimension. Look what they are. Insectoid, dinoid reptiles. Dinosaur, insect, and reptilian. That's what a freaking Omicron dragon moth, a 10th dimensional dark avatar. It is this dark avatar who created, because they're source God too, even though it's a hologram version, a small piece, a fragmented piece, used its free will to become distorted. Well, it's still God, but a distorted holographic version of it. This is a fragmented version of source God created the dragons, but they're called Dracon. Dracon, not Drake. Some people are calling these Drakes. They're not Drakes. That's the fantasy dragon creature. This is the Dracon. Dragon. Dracon. Draconian. See the word Dracon right there? I'm just trying to be specific, man. Dracon. Draconian. Who were created by Omicron? Who were created by Source God? Source God created life forms like the Ascended Masters, who created the Seraphi, and then these Omicron were created by the Seraphi, but the Seraphi fell and became Seraphim. Now the Seraphim Omicron is a fallen angelic legion. This fallen angelic legion created the Draconian dragons. Still part of God. You can't become separate from God. Even though the fallen angelic, reptilian, Anunnaki religions say so. That's their message. That's not God's message. Okay, are you getting it? So the Omicron created the Dracon created the Dracos, and the Earth system. So this is why we look here, Omicron dragon moths. They're insectoid, dinoid reptiles. They created the Dracon. The Dracon, dragon lizards, dragons, Draconians, created the Dracos on Earth. Now it's a human lizard hominid. And some of them shapeshift, morph-like, to human. And lots of people have seen these serpent eyes in other people, even if it's just for a second. Or they'll see them in people's fields. These beings were kicked off of Earth, but of course they're now come back. But we have these bloodlines here since Atlantis, man. So Omicron first created the Dracon. Dracon created the Dracos. Now there's freaking reptilians on Earth. Hybrids. Human-like. Okay? But there's also the chupacabras were created because they took the Omicron plus an Adedocron mammal. It's not even a human animal. It's a freaking alien extraterrestrial put on Earth. Have you seen The Predator? Or The Predators? No, there's different series. There's one called The Predator, which is actually a very good action movie. But just realize that the Predator is part reptilian. My point is, what did the Predator bring to Earth? It brought these freaking demon-looking, reptilian-looking dogs. Just like they brought the chupacabras. That's an Anunnaki thing. Chupacabra is coming from the Elohim races. Anunnaki races. These other creatures like the chupacabras. Omicron, Odedocron, mammal is said. It's a mammal mixed between reptilian winged Odedocron and the dragon reptilian Omicron. Now, this is their animal from their planet put on Earth. Chupacabra is real, homies. Not some folklore of Mexico or wherever. It's a real being. Machiwa. There's a reptilian being called Azazel. You'll see in the Sci-Fi Channel, you'll see on certain TV shows, even like on Star Trek, You'll see some cute looking, well, maybe it's not cute, but some reptilian, part human. You know, you know this is coming from fallen angelic legions. Okay? The fallen seraphim races. Okay, now some of these races had sex or were or they were just simply mixed in a lab. Omicron races, and don't forget the Odedicron races. Omicron and Odedicron were mixed with some of these Anunnaki, Elohim, Metatron races. And that's where you get the third kind. This is the third kind of hybrids. This is where you get the beetle, reptilian, insectoid creatures. These are hardcore, demonic, twisted consciousness, man. And it is the same freaking race who created the Archangel Michael. The same beings who created Men in Black. The same beings who created an actual race of vampire, which are serpent, dino humanoids. So dinosaur, serpent, humanoids, I mean. Not humans. The same reptilian creatures got mixed in. Well, you got the Marduk and the Luciferian Anunnaki and plus the Satan, Necromaton Satan. So now you got Marduk, insect, hominid, Dramen, which is Omicron, reptilian, dragon moth mixture. There's that Satan line I told you, Satan line. It's not coming from Earth, man. It's not coming from Christian religion, man. Satan is coming from ETs, from Orion, or somewhere, wherever they're coming from. Dramen, dragon, queen. Marduk, Luciferians, or insect hominids, man. Marduk, Tiamat, whatever you want to call it, is a freaking alien, doesn't look human at all, even though they're putting it in Sumerian, tablets looking like a human. They're not freaking human. Vikarits and Vikor. They're light-haired humanoids from Nibiru. That's got the Pleiadian Luciferians and the other million Anunnaki hybrids. The centaurs are not good. Even though in Harry Potter they made them as good, no, they're diabolical Luciferians, homie. They ain't even close to being good. The Enlil, the Inky, these are half reptilians, half Anunnakis. I just explained that to you. It doesn't mean they had sex. It means they were hybridized, hybridization put together, and then it doesn't require sex, but it could include rape, right, or whatever. So your precious bullshit, New Age beliefs, praising, venerating, Inky, Enlil, even Thoth. Where is Thoth? There's Thoth, baby. There's your freaking Thoth. What is Thoth? Thoth is a humanoid, insectoid, reptilian serpent. Being praised by people like Billy Carson, being praised in the New Age, just like they venerate Inky. Well, it's the same line as Thoth. Inky and Thoth are the same line. You will see this in the Voyager's books. Thoth Inky, Thoth Inky, Thoth Inky, over and over, hundreds of times associated. Inky and Thoth are the same race. Machiwa Holy Ones. If you guys like this message tonight, please consider donating. There's a $, that's for donations. Thank you in advance, you guys, for the small gift, even for $5 or whatever you feel called to. Please support this work. This is my full-time job, to serve you guys, to bring you this guardian teachings. You can study, but I'm just simply helping. I'm kind of like a gateway. I'm sending people to the advanced shit. If you're really into technique, we're sending you the pre-PDFs. We're sending you links to the videos. Okay? There is no paywall here. It's all, as you can see, based on donations and sales of my artwork. If you're interested in that, please take a look at the link below. I have an Etsy shop. So this is how I stay online, you guys. This is how I can keep on doing this work. So thank you for supporting this work, because we're going to be ending soon tonight's live. So I thank all of my moderators for hanging with us, watching our back tonight. Hopefully there wasn't a lot of issues. And thank you to my members. You guys are keeping me alive, literally. You're helping your brother do this job. Do you see how that works? It's a group thing. You are helping me do this work. Thank you, all my members. Thank you to my moderators. And thank you to all of you who are regulars. And definitely thank you to those who are sending donations, you guys. I made Anunnaki videos and I made other reptilian videos. So if you really like this channel tonight, please consider browsing the video different playlists, or just search on my search. Go to my channel and search the box for Reptilian, and you'll see all the different Reptilian videos. If you don't want to go, can't find the playlist. So it's a big deal. And I just want to show something in the PDF. Like I mentioned earlier at the beginning, the Reptilians are the ones who is also part of the Seraphim, the gray aliens. The insectoids, which are gray aliens, are insectoids, come out of the Seraphai Seraphim. So they're friends. The Dracos, dragons, reptilians, are friends with the Zeta. They come out of the same lineages, the gold flame lineages. It is this... The Dracos and the Zeta Gray aliens took over parallel Earth. There is extraterrestrial martial law in parallel Earth. And this Dracos Zeta alliance is now taking over this Earth, while billions of humans are worshiping them. Let me ask you this question. Do you think it's impossible for them to take over? If they took over parallel Earth, if they murdered us, kicked our asses in Human Seeding 1? Let me ask that question. Do you think it's impossible for them to take over Earth? They ain't schmucks. They're a real threat. So don't take this message, tonight's message, lightly. Because you'll get New Age love and light only. Ignore the darkness. Don't talk about the darkness. That's called cluelessness. If you ignore that, if you ignore this danger, it's going to swallow you. It's going to railroad you. And your fragile New Age systems, which are, according to the teachings, were created by the Jehovah Anunnaki and Reptilians. Let me show you the Dracos Zeta threat. that is attacking humans now in 2025, not just in those ancient cultures. So let me pull up the PDF so it's, we're transparent like that. And I'm also going to show you what things they have done. I'll just open Voyagers 2, which is right here. This is Voyagers 2 on the screen. But I think it might be some in Voyagers 1 as well. I know I said I was going to quit, but give me 10 more minutes, you guys. Zeta. Dracos. Let me just look up Dracos first. The 1,000 Years War. What did I say? Human seeding, second seeding. That means humans were seeded more than once. We were wiped out 2 times. And thanks to the Dracon and their Dracos hybrid, human hybrid, they kicked our asses, they murdered us. So it ain't impossible for them to do it again. Especially when they already took out parallel Earth. The Dracon. Okay. The second seeding. The second human seeding. Okay. Approximately 1 million years ago. Not yesterday. Not recently, New Agers. Or, million years ago, the Dracon was here. From, what did I say? The Orion star system came to Earth and tampered with. Man, how many times have we talked about that tonight? They F with our genetics. They make genetic hybridizations. They know how to do this. They're experts in this. They created hybrids with the root races called Dracos. So the humans with the Dracon. A human plus a dragon equals a Dracos. Not the stupid Drake, people are calling them Drakes. Or Drax. They're not Drax. They're not Drakes. If you want to be accurate, okay? If you want to be accurate, they're called Dracon, who created the Dracos 1 million years ago. They didn't happen, these bloodlines are ancient. Contaminating, oh wow, go figure. Contaminating the human genetic code, and which F's up your ascension process. It alters your evolutionary imprint. The upright dragons, just like you saw in the movie Jupiter Ascension, they're upright winged dragons. It's a sentient, intelligent race. They're upright standing, dragon lizard-like beings with a tendency toward aggression and warlike behavior. This is why they're buffed, they're muscular, they're big. Some people reported them 18 feet tall. I've had dreams of parallel Earth when they took over, and they were freaking 18 feet tall in my lucid dream. And they had all kinds of creatures, reptilian creatures eating humans, man. I experienced it in my dream. I witnessed it. They represent, and so we have the Dracos hybrids were more lizard-like in appearance, closely resembling humans, but features, and also, of course, their attitudes, their temperaments, characteristic to the dragons. And look at this. The Draken also tampered with certain hybrid strains of dinosaurs because the dinosaurs are part of the seraphim races. It's not something that originated on Earth. Please understand. They're actually density 3. I believe they're up to density 3 beings, dinosaurs. You call them dinoids. A type of reptilian race. You just think of them as animals. No. Did you get this up here? Sentient, intelligent, upright. Did you get that part? And what did I say about the false ants, chupacabras, baby? Were also created at this time. Chupacabras are freaking ancient. 1,000,000 years they've been on Earth. There ain't no folklore. Okay, it's the real thing. Combining certain animal strains from the Dracon planets and Earth animals. They don't call them chupacabras though. They call them false ants. Okay, so let's look more. Dracos. Wait, what was that? Okay. These intrusive visitors of Dracos lineage are in reality a hybrid mutation of human ancestors, which we saw 1,000,000 years ago. This is a different chapter of the book. This is already page 58 of the book. They evolved on the Orion star system. They were members of the human lineage, and they feel entitled. Of course they do. Even though they were here way later than humans. You know, we were seated on the race 25 million. We were seated on Earth 25 million years ago. They came 1,000,000 years ago. What the shit? You ain't got no claim. But they're making a claim. You saw it right there. We got claim to the Earth because we were created 1,000,000 years ago with humans. Okay, you wouldn't exist if it wasn't humans, asshole. It took a human to create you, the Dracos hybrid. You don't got no claim on our planet. You're an intruder. But they feel entitled to use the territories of Earth, even though they were banned, okay? You see, the soul essence of Draco is part human and part dragon. What do you think goes inside of? It's telling you right here, a dragon soul essence, Dracon, goes into the Draco's body hybrid. And it's also where you get the 666 Templar Axion seal, baby. Which is another topic. I talk about the 666 seal with our star sister in my interview, Becca. The few remaining Dracos, they were exiled. They were eventually exiled to Sirius A. Okay, so what I'm trying to find now, because this history you can read in Voyagers too, because it goes back to ancient Egypt and ancient Atlantis. So let me put Dracos Zeta. Dracos Zeta. Dracos Zeta resistance, you guys. This is what took over parallel Earth. This is what is trying to take over now, which is doing a pretty good job kicking our asses. Because we're trying to wake up. This is what we're doing. Starseeds and Indigos are trying to wake us up. This is a real thing, man. They put the frequency fence. There's a frequency. They're the ones who gave the frequency fence. You know, they're the ones that created the Philadelphia experiment of 1943. You know, it's not just a movie. That was a real thing that happened. The whistleblowers talk about it. It's a real thing, not some Hollywood trick. It's ET tech. Teleportation of a battleship. These beings are broadcasting their EM pulses. EM, electromagnetic pulses, man. They use energy weapons. I'm just browsing through it. in order for the Draco Zeta resistance plan to be effective, they would have to create 3 rips in space-time on Earth, which includes the Philadelphia experiment, which includes the Montauk Project, and something else that we're probably not aware of, another project. You better believe they didn't stop at 2 rips in time. You know, they know how to create portals. They know how to create rifts. I don't want to go over too late, you guys. We can keep going on and on the Zeta Dracos, but I'm just showing you, you got a taste of it. They create portals. They tear rips in time so they can do their deeds from the Phantom Matrix. Fallen angels can come from hell, come to through the Philadelphia experiment doorway that was created a long time ago. You saw. There's also let me show you on the time matrix real quick. There's also an ancient Atlantis. There's 2 ancient Atlantis portals they opened. I mean, this needs to sink in, you guys. This is the natural system, and this is the black hole anomaly. And these demons, these fallen angels, are getting here through the Philadelphia experiment, for example. Not just one wormhole, but there's many wormholes now. The Phoenix wormhole, and the Falcon wormhole, and the Montauk Project. Shit like this, not to mention CERN. Okay? What are they doing at CERN? They're opening portals. That's one of its uses, not just one use. Wait, am I still... Okay. So... Butterfly! Thank you, Star Sister. Thank you for standing up for the truth. Thank you, sister. Bless you. And I'm sorry I got emotional earlier tonight. You guys, it's just a strong passion and just to have this freaking darkness corrupt the angelic humans. It's so sad, man. It's very sad what they have done to us as a people and to our planet. And they've created so much death through distorting the grids on Earth. You know, we used to be immortal. Now all life ages and dies because of these fallen angelic legions. It becomes emotional when so much death has happened. Thank you, Star Sister Butterfly. Thank you so much, sister. Bless you, Tanya. Lauren Wisdom, thank you for supporting Star Sister. Give me hugs. Star families, those serving light coming together. Thank you, Lauren Wisdom. Thank you, Anahazi, for all that you do and for the amazing soul that you are. And you are an amazing soul too, Lauren. You guys, I love to see you got your positive energies and vibes. Sir Madism, woohoo! 444. Omni love. That's what we are about. That's what we speak. That's what we share. Syrian Star Princess. That's okay, Christos Avatar TV, YouTube, and the others can't shadow ban the frequency you are sending. It trumps their shadow ban, right? Thank you so much, Syrian Star Princess. And thank you to all of you. This has been awesome frequency tonight. I wasn't sure. I knew I had told you I was going to do a reptilian video. I finally got around to doing it. And it was strong tonight. I want to let you guys know I'm reaching out to some people to do more interviews, more spiritual oriented, not just about the bad news, but some more uplifting information. And I want to talk to some people who are whistleblowers of the secret space program. I would like to talk to people who are like I met some awesome people at the alien event and Contact in the Desert. I thought I had their business cards, but now I have no contact now. But people who have been abducted, it's very important. People who can confirm the hybrid races on Earth would be an awesome interview. So you guys, please send your recommendations to me. Don't get offended if I don't, go on your recommendation. I mean, come on, I can't take on all people as guests, but I would love it if people started sending me good people who would be perfect for this message on my channel, because we represent all of this awakening and ascension and all of the players on the dark side. We expose them. Light, you shine light, it exposes the dark. You're light, you're calling yourself light. You're not just love, light, and clueless. Light exposes the dark. That means you talk about the dark, you point at the dark, you expose the darkness. We're not clueless. We're informed. And when you're informed, you can heal yourself, you can protect yourself. You know how the enemy, we're not calling them enemy, they're calling us an enemy. The enemy who's attacking us, who's murdered us, who's enslaved the human populace, most of it, okay? If you're clueless about how they operate, because when you look into New Age, you see how clueless they really are. You don't just ignore the darkness, you expose it like I'm doing tonight. You expose the reptilians. Hey, if you remember what I said, there's some that were healed. Families, individuals, groups. Not all reptilians are dark or dragons or whatever. If you feel like you're guardian, hey, look, I'll show you guardians. If you're a positive dragon, let me show you. Before we end the live, I'll go back to the diagram. Like I said, you're coming, that's my Photoshop. You're coming from the 14th dimensional Seraphim Gold Flame Royal House of Vega. Remember, all the reptilians and insectoids and originally came out of Vega, the cradle of Lyra. Vega, Armatania, and Avion, the first three planets of all life, was located in the cradle of Lyra. Armatania, Vega, Avion. But these beings moved to Orion. Okay? Just saying. But you could have been one of the beings who did not fall, or one of the beings who got healed. So not all dragons are bad. They're the ones who created the 10th dimensional beings. 10D, D10. So let's look at D10. D10. What's on D10? Omicron fell. Odedicron fell. So if you think you're a dragon, you're really an Omicron who didn't fall or got healed through a guardian host matrix, and now you are a guardian. So this is how there can be positive dragons, but just understand, let's be realistic and understand that most dragons and most reptilians are dark, man. The mantis did not fall, and the Ceres bird people did not fall. Is there dark Athean? Of course there is some dark praying mantis ETs, but we're talking about the race. The race did not fall. The Ceres bird people did not fall. All right. Because I'm sure some of you, I'm sure some of you in the audience feel like you're a guardian dragon or something. And I'm just showing you it's possible. But realistically, most dragons are dark, man. They're attacking us. They already killed us once, and they did it in parallel. Now they're trying to do it again. So, thank you guys. Thank all of you for being here with us tonight. Thank you for holding space. We're holding space as a group, man. We incarnated on earth as a group. Bless all of you. Thank you for raising that guardian flag. Thank you for standing in your conviction. It's not easy here on earth to heal, to become awakened. It's not easy. So I salute you guys who are. All of you who are fighting the fight. You know, like getting through the troubling times, the hard times. That's what I mean. Bless all of you who are shining light on wherever you are. Wherever you're speaking. Whatever you're thinking. Okay? Whatever relationships you're creating. This is who you are. This is what you bring. This is your mission. We're doing this. We can't do this, you know, we're strong individually, but we're much, much stronger when we're doing this as a group. A group awakening, a group hug, a group support. Stand in your power, angelic humans. Blessings to all those awakening. Starseeds, indigo children, angelic humans, Oraphim angels, Seraphi, guardian, reptilians, dragons, Elohai, violet flame, holy Christos avatars, holy Ki Rashe, Ki Ra She, holy Kunda Re, Kunda Re, Ki Rashe, Unisai, Machiwa, Makaya, Masutas, Shaddai Ure Akuntan, Shaddai Ure Akuntan, Shaddai Ure Akuntan. I am God. I am sovereign. I am free. Say it with me, guardians. I am God. I am sovereign. I am free. I am God. I am sovereign. I am free. Truly understand what is God, sovereign, free. Know that you're part of the one. All are one with God. I am God. Blessings to all of you. Namaste. Aho. Good night, you guys. Yeah, baby. What's up? Yeah, let's party. We got this. Angelics, we got this, man. We're creating that positive timeline. My cheeks. Let me do this with the emojis since I usually don't have what? It wants to give me some problem. Oh, now I can do it. I just got to put this code in chat. This is code. Code. Omni. This is the guardian spelling. We spell with words of power like Omni, Christos, love. Omni, Christos, love. Good night, you guys. Peace. Thank you for all those who supported this work. Blessings.